Welcome to Grow Your Wealth, the podcast where scaling a successful brand and your wellness go hand in hand. I'm Rena Goodwin, founder and CEO of Factor PR, a top beauty, health, and wellness PR studio, and I'm here to help you work smarter, not harder. Each week, we'll talk branding, marketing, and business growth alongside real, practical insights from trailblazers who are building businesses without the burnout. If you're ready to grow your brand, protect your energy, and design a life you love, you are in the right place. Let's grow. Hey everyone, welcome back to Grow Your Wealth. I'm your host, Rena Goodwin, also the founder and CEO of Factor PR and Realfluence. And today, I want to kick off a two-part conversation that I honestly think every business owner needs to hear right now because you guys are sure curious, I do have to say. And that is about PR, because PR is having such a major moment right now. And not in the way that it always has, okay? So I've been in this industry for over 17 years, and I have heard many times throughout the course of my career that some people, they think that PR is very take it or leave it, that it doesn't influence revenue. It's hard to measure. Marketing and ads are king. It's super measurable. We don't do PR. We don't believe in PR. Well, I don't hear that much anymore. And of course, I'm biased, but there is no way I would have built a career, especially this long, if I didn't think that the work that I was doing was not only valid, but important and impactful. It's just that now it's more important and impactful. And I don't just mean PR, like getting a feature in a magazine, which is still wonderful, but this is really becoming about how people find you, trust you, and increasingly how AI recommends you. So I'm getting clients that are coming to me and asking not just for press coverage, but for AI recommendations, because we are moving into a world where platforms like Claude and other AI-driven search tools are not just pulling from Instagram posts. In fact, most of the time they aren't. Like at my business, Factor PR, we see almost 100% of non-referred leads from search and AI, not from social media. These LLMs are pulling from credible third-party validated sources, articles, interviews, podcasts, blogs, reviews, Reddit. In other words, earned unpaid media. In fact, there's data from Muckrack that shows the vast majority of AI-generated recommendations are influenced by earned media and editorial sources. That's 95% of AI recommendations are coming from earned media. So if you're not showing up there and not showing up there recently, you're not just missing press, you're missing discovery. You're missing potential partnerships and revenue. And that's why PR is having this huge resurgence of interest right now, not as a nice to have anymore, but as a core strategy for growth in your business. Now, before you run out and hire a PR agency, just pause here for a second, okay? Because not all PR is created equal, and certainly not all PR agencies are created equal. And this is where people I've seen make really expensive mistakes. We actually have a full blog post on this at factorpr.com. I will link below in the show notes that I would absolutely recommend reading on how to find the right PR agency for your business. But at a high level, there are a few things that I always tell people to look out for. And this is also based on my experience before starting a PR agency. I used to hire PR agencies when I worked in-house. So first and foremost, you want to find a PR agency with experience and results. Not just we've been in business for X amount of years, but that it can actually show you that what they have done and accomplished for their clients. Do they understand how to position someone like you? Do they know how to get results that matter? Second, a gateway to those results is industry alignment and relationships. PR is not just about sending cold emails. It's about knowing who to go to, how to pitch them, and what these journalists, influencers, partners, experts, etc., are working on and how to make your business relevant. If your agency doesn't live in your space, they might be starting from scratch and your results might take a little bit longer. And third, alignment is key. Do you actually work? Do you actually like the PR agency? Do you trust them? Do they understand your vision? you're going to be spending a lot of time with these folks. They're going to be representing your brand. PR has to be collaborative. You're putting your voice, your reputation, your brand in someone else's hands. And if it doesn't feel aligned, it's going to feel like friction a lot of the time. And the last thing that I will mention here is that if you are hearing from a PR agency that they can guarantee you coverage, this should be a huge red flag. Nobody can ethically guarantee coverage because that coverage has to be earned in order for it to be considered like free publicity, right? So either the agency is doing something unethical, like paying off journalists, or they are purchasing an article and reselling it to you. And like I said earlier, advertising does not currently show up in AI search. So pro tip, save your money. Okay. So once we've got that foundation, let's get into the questions that we get asked all the time here at Factor PR from current clients and from prospective clients. And I want to answer these in a way that actually helps you think thoughtfully about public relations. The first question that we often get asked is, how can PR help grow my business? This is the one everyone wants the answer to. And I'm going to say something that might surprise you. PR alone isn't always enough to show measurable growth in your business. Leveraged PR can grow your business because a feature on its own, a good review on its own, it's nice. It's exhilarating. It's exciting. You'll post it. You'll celebrate it. It'll be the hottest thing all week. But then if you don't use it, it kind of fades. But when you actually leverage it over time, that's when it becomes the most powerful. And for most coverage, there's no expiration date, right? So you can leverage it for weeks, months, even years to come. We've talked about this before, but there are so many ways to leverage one piece of coverage. You can turn it into content. You can use it in your sales processes. You can add it to your website, bring it with you to consultations and a deck. You can use it in your email marketing. You can leverage it into a media kit to get paid speaking opportunities. Same thing with building partnerships from that media kit. That's what is really happening underneath all of this. It's building trust faster. There's actually research from Edelman that shows people trust third-party validation significantly more than a brand's own messaging. So what other people say about you is more impactful and more influential than what you say about you. I mean, that's no surprise, right? So when someone else is talking about you and validating you, your expertise, your products, your service, your business, it hits differently. And when your audience sees you in multiple renowned places, a shift starts to happen. There's also this concept in marketing you may have heard of that is called the rule of 7. And that's the idea that people need multiple touch points before they make a decision. And PR accelerates and emphasizes those touch points because instead of someone seeing you once, they're starting to see you in multiple places, right? Because you're not only been validated once, if you've been validated multiple times, now you've got a competitive edge, right? And you're not just convincing your potential clients, patients, or customers, they're now convincing themselves. And that's how PR grows your business. Hi, friends. I want to tell you about our new and improved authority accelerator from Factor PR called RealFluence. RealFluence is the only membership that helps beauty and wellness founders grow their reputation and authority to attract new customers without endless discounting, advertising, or going viral. Inside, you'll learn how to get recognized for your product or your expertise, partner with other founders, and become the name people trust and talk about, all with the guidance and community to support you every step of the way. Remember, you can't buy authority. You have to earn it. And RealFluence is here to help. Visit therealfluence.com to get started. Second question is, how soon will I start seeing results after we begin? I love this question because it tells me that a brand is ready, but it also tells me that we might need to reset expectations a little bit because oftentimes when I get asked this question, the expectation is we're going to start seeing results right away, right? Well, the first 30 days of PR are not supposed to really be about visibility, at least not at my agency, Factor PR. The first 30 days are really about building a sturdy foundation. This is where we're enhancing your reputation, where we're refining your positioning, we're dialing in your messaging, and we're starting to plant seeds with media influencers, partners, podcast hosts, and so forth. It's not always the most visible part. A lot of this work is very behind the scenes, but it is the most important. Now, that said, most of our clients do start seeing media opportunities come in within those first 3 days. Going back earlier to what I said about aligning with a PR agency that already has inroads with your industry, this is why we start to get PR opportunities within those first 30 days, because it's not just about who we know, but who knows us too, right? So these are early introductions, typically with the media, and they're the beginning of building momentum. And around 90 days, that's when things really start to seem more consistent with our clients. They're getting tapped more regularly. Editors are now recognizing their names. We're building deeper relationships with your brand on behalf of your brand with these editors. And then over time, it snowballs. Okay. Now, this is a typical timeline that we see in particular with service providers because they're experts in their field and there's just a higher rate of demand. We see results faster for experts. We see results on a different timeline, a little bit of a more conservative timeline with products. If you are selling a product, not necessarily you as the product or service, because products have to be validated. They have to be tested, and that can take time. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure to make mention of that here too. As I talked about PR, the longer you stick with it, the more coverage and more opportunities tend to happen. For clients that have been with us for a year, 2 years, it's not unusual for them to see a dozen of opportunities every month because PR is not linear. It compounds. Your authority builds, your visibility builds, your relationships build, and then it'll seem like all of a sudden we're not chasing opportunities anymore. They're coming to you. And that is just the cherry on top. Third question that we're going to answer here today is, what KPIs do you actually measure? This is for all of my CEOs and marketing strategists out there. This is an important question because PR itself has a little bit of a reputation of feeling a little vague. I get it. Trust me. Like, what are we actually tracking here? Of course, we do track impressions, ad values, clicks, sentiment, tier coverage, backlinks, follows, no follow links, you name it. We put those all into our program dashboards every single week for our clients. And I know what they want to see is a straight line from PR to a sale. And my friends, it is not always that linear. The way we look at PR results is really in terms of layers. At the top, you have awareness and visibility. You need to make sure before you ever get a sale that you're showing up in the right conversations, in the right outlets, with the right influencers, on the right podcasts. Are you being seen? That's your coverage, your placements, your reach. Then you have authority. Okay. Are you being positioned as the expert? Are you showing up in the right places with the right messaging? Then you have engagement. Are people interacting? Are they following, clicking, responding? And then the part that everyone cares about, growth, leads, inquiries, revenue, because ultimately that is the goal. I get it. Our clients, they don't wake up and they say, I'd like to be in the headlines today. I mean, yeah, that feels great to the ego, but how does that help my business? They wake up and say, how am I going to grow my business today? The goal is always impact. And here's what I'll say. PR touches all of that, but it doesn't always show up in the perfectly packaged straight line that we expect. Sometimes someone sees you in an article, then they follow you, then they watch your content, then they reach out 3 weeks later, then they sign up for your email newsletter, then they ask their friends, then they set up a call. And if you're only looking for direct attribution, we're missing the big picture of PR, because PR is often one of the major drivers behind a purchasing decision, not just the last click before it. All right, my friends. I'm going to leave you hanging on that one. Before we go into part 2, tune in next week for that. We're going to get into some more nuanced questions, like how does national media actually help a local business? Why timing is everything, and why you shouldn't wait for the perfect feature to start PR. And I also want to touch on influencer marketing, because we get asked this a bunch at Factor PR as well too, because influencer marketing is also having a big moment right now. It has been for years, but I'm not here to just talk about how do you use it to get, likes and followers, but how to use it to grow your business, because that's really what we focus on here on the Grow Your Wealth podcast. But before I leave you, if you take one thing away from this conversation, is that PR is not about chasing attention. It is about building authority, especially in this world that we're moving into. Authority is what gets us seen. It's what gets us trusted. It is what gets us chosen. So again, we're going to deep dive even more thoughtfully into this next week here on the Grow Your Wealth podcast. And I look so forward to seeing you then. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode deposited some useful advice and insights to help you grow your wealth. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future conversations. You can find more resources, episode details, and updates at growyourwealthpodcast.com. And let's keep the conversation going on Instagram. Follow me at Grow Your Wealth Podcast. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or takeaway from today's show. Until next time, remember, burnout is optional. Take care, and I'll see you next week.